And good morning. Tuesday morning, it is our Sampler 2, block number 10. This one is Baking with Family. I want to welcome everybody. We are getting so close. And I don't know about you, but I'm so excited. I think I'm more excited to be done than to actually get it finished. That sounds so bad. I'm so sorry. But I've got so many other things going on. As everybody knows, if you know me, you know my schedule. And I don't know why I did this to myself, but I did. So we're just going to keep trucking along. And I hope you're trucking along with me here. We are going to get this project done. I'm just going to kind of step aside here just to be able to show you that our block number 10 is the one in the second row, the very first one. Again, Baking with Family. And as you can see, the one next to it, I already have block number 11, which I'm going to try to get that videoed also, so I can go ahead and put both of these out there for you guys today. And yeah, I'm still trying to work on getting the middle of block number 7, and that's why there's an empty spot up there. I'll get it. Don't worry, I'll get it. I have had to jump in and have my girls, so I've got Judy, I've got Mary, and I've got Alicia that have jumped in to help me with these blocks. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what in the world I'd be doing right now. Struggling like I usually do, I guess. But they have jumped in to help with making the blocks, having those ready, having all my fabrics cut for me. So I'm going to be just kind of whipping right through this. But everybody that I know is making this, they already bought the book as well. So you guys have the book, you're following it. I don't know, people say that they just like me to talk about it, and maybe I'm showing them something that they haven't seen or done. So I'm trying my best. But when I do finish this series, I will be taking a little break, a much deserved break. And then we will start up with another, and I will try to have that information for our block number 12 when we get ready to do all of that, so that you know what we have coming up, and it'll probably be about February that we will start. And also, if you have embroidery machines, that is where I'm going to be kind of stepping over to do embroidery. We have a lot of people that have embroidery machines, have not used them, don't know how to use them. So I'm going to be doing some videos on a couple of our machines that we have, and hopefully be able to kind of help those people out as well, because they spend a lot of money on those embroidery machines. And if you're just turning that machine into a regular sewing machine, just straight stitch and zigzag, why'd you buy it? You know? So I want to be able to try to help those people. And if you have never done like applique work, hopefully you'll be able to follow along with the video and be able to see how those types of things are done as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started on our measurements, our cutting measurements for our block number 10, Baking with Family. All right, and here we go, guys. We have block 10, Baking with Family. Here is our background pieces here. And as always, sorry, I'm kind of jerky with the camera here. As always, we are going to put these in letter form so that it's easier to be able to match up and reach for our pieces. But our first background piece is letter A, and you're going to need 4 5-inch squares. For letter B, you're going to need 12 2 3/4 by 5-inch rectangles. And over here, letter C, you're going to want 8 2 3/4 inch squares. All of those are in your background pieces, okay? And then we come down here, and I again apologize for my camera skills. The center square, you're going to label as D as in dog, and 1 5-inch square is what is needed for your center square. And then if you, I'm going to just kind of go up here real quick because it's still on the wall. If you look and around the center square, I'm calling those gray pieces that I am using, I'm calling those the center bow ties. And then the other is labeled as outside frame, which is what I have for my the lines going there. And then and that's considered the outside frame. So when I'm referencing that, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. And then the red, I'm calling that the corner arrows. Okay, and then of course we have our regular corners, but the red look like tulips or arrows. I'm calling those the corner arrows. So let's go back down. I'm so sorry. We did our center square, letter D. We need one of those. And then our center bow tie is letter E, and we need 8 at 2 3/4 inch squares. We come over here to our outside frame, letter F, you want 4 2 3/4 by 5-inch rectangles. And letter G, still the outside frame, you want 16 2 3/4 inch squares. Okay, let's go down to our last row here. The corner arrows, letter H, you want 4 at 2 3/4 inch squares, and I, you want 8 2 3/4 inch squares. And real quick, I know that those are both the same size, and they are both into the arrow to create the arrow, but please do yourself a favor, don't try to shortcut this. Label 4 of those pieces letter H, and label 8 of those pieces letter I, because when I go through to give you what you need for different things pieces to stitch up, and when I say H, if you put them all in H and didn't have an I, and when I get to I, you're going to be like, oh, well, what is that piece? I don't have that. So please, the way that it is explained, to be able to have 4 2 3/4 and then 8 2 3/4, one is letter H, one is letter I, please make sure to label them that way. And then over here we have letter J, and we have 4 at 2-inch squares, which those are the corner pieces that exist in every block we have done. And those are all at 2-inch squares, okay? All right, so now we are going to go ahead. Let me just go back up and just show you. This is the block right here. I've already got my little sashing pieces going around there at the moment. So that kind of gives you, let me pan out a little bit. Wait, am I going forward? Yes, I am. Let me back up. There we go. So here you can see, get the feel of what that block is going to look like. But wow, and look, isn't number 11, isn't that a gorgeous block? I love it, I love it. Okay, so let me get set up and we will go around here and get started. All right, here we go. So I am going to go ahead and just, like I've done in the last few videos anyway, I'm just going to show you everything here. You're not going to see me, you're going to hear me. And let me go ahead and show you. The first thing that we're going to want to do is take our C piece, which is a background piece. We're going to lay that out, and we're going to use our letter J, and let me grab one of those. And these we are creating is the very first piece that's going to go into our corner pieces here. And we want to draw our line just like we do on all of the others that we've done. We're going to line that up and we are going to draw our line matching our diagonal corner to corner. So I'm drawing that line on there, and then I am going to lay that right sides together. Again, if you are using any type of white on white or cream on cream, make sure that you've got the right side that is facing up. I've done that quite a few times actually and had to rip them out, so that is no fun and nobody likes to rip, right? So here I'm gonna, I hope I'm still in the screenshot actually. I'm gonna go ahead and lay that on there, right sides together with the diagonal starting at the bottom here, that's closest to me, and shooting up to the right. And that way when we flip that over, it is going to create like a whole new piece once we trim that. So you're going to stitch right on your stitch line, and then you'll come over and you'll do your 1/4 inch right on top of that line right there that you stitched on. And you're going to remove this piece here. You're going to give that a cut, and you just created a whole new piece right there. So you'll have 4 of these, 1 for each corner. So now we're going to go ahead, we'll set this aside. I'm just going to put it back actually. And again, you're going to make 4 because you're going to have 1 in each corner here. And the next step then, we are going to take letter B, which is your rectangle piece. So let's grab one of our letter B. And then we're going to take letter I. Okay, where's I? H-I, which happens to be one of my red pieces here. And we are going to draw our line, and this time I guess it really doesn't make that much difference because it's a solid color, but we're going to draw our diagonal, match that up, make sure that it's where it needs to be. Okay, and just like the others that we have done, we are going to be making our arrow or our goose track. People call them different things, so however you want to title that. So we want to line this up to where this is coming, say from my top left. If I'm standing here, I'm looking at this, it's my top left, and it comes down to my right, because we want to create that arrow. And you're going to take this B, the B and the I, and then after the B and I, we're going to take letter G. So you're going to have 1 on each side. You're going to make 4 of these as well. Okay, so you're going to have 2 different pieces. So let me draw the line for this one. And if I did not say this before, which I think I did, if you are using lines like I did, I'm really regretting that I did that, because they are so hard to try to match up. And like I said, I have not been the one that's been stitching these recently, and so it just kind of leaves it hard for the other girls to be able to do the same thing, to be able to line them up. But I don't recommend that if you are trying to, you know, like connect pieces, because then it just kind of makes your piece look like it's all messed up. But let's go ahead, and our first piece here with our B and our I, we're going to stitch here, And just like everything else, we're gonna line this up with our 1/4 inch, and we'll take this part off so that when that folds over, and you wanna do this one at a time. You don't wanna put this one on and put this one on too, because you can see it right here. You see how this is needing to overlap. If you do that, and then when you go to try to open this, you're not gonna be able to get a good opening. So you want to go ahead, stitch one part first, and do your trim. That way when this folds over, like so, and when we put that second piece on, which is our letter G, we'll lay that on top to finish our arrow, to create our arrow. But look, see what happens when we do this and we stitch, it's gonna stitch and help hold that down, okay? So, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll go ahead and trim this part here with the 1/4 inch. And when we open this all up like this, then we will have our arrow, okay? So you should have 2 different pieces. Whatever colors, whatever you're using, you should have 2 different pieces on this one particular section. And you're going to make 4 of these, okay? So I'm going to set these aside. And we're going to move on to the next set of blocks or pieces. And again, we need letter B, one of our background pieces, okay? And this time, let's turn it this way. Because what we're doing, what we just created, were these pieces here. We've got one here and here. I'm sitting here looking at this, and this one and this one. So these are the ones that we just created. Now what we need to do is to create the other side so that the way that they're matching up, they'll be opposite directions. So here we want to take that letter J, not J, I'm sorry, our letter I. We need to take that letter I. Okay, and I've already got the line drawn on it from the previous one, but we're going to now, we have our rectangle going straight up and down, so we want our rectangle to be vertical, and then we're going to take our letter I, and we're going to lay it this way. So it's going to be from the top left, where it angles down to the right. But this letter I needs to be the first piece that's up here, and it needs to go into the vertical direction, okay? So you're going to stitch on your stitch line, and you're going to take and you're going to measure your 1/4 inch, trim that off so that this piece will flip over. That gives you a whole new piece, right? And then we're going to take the letter G again, just like we did, make your line on there. And this one is going to go to finish out that arrow, right? And you want to make sure that this goes right on top here so that it helps hold that piece down. And you'll do your stitch. And then you're going to set this up, do your 1/4 inch trim so that now you have this piece here, okay? And this time, when you go to put this piece on, this piece will go on to the outside, and this will be the piece that fits in like here and up here. So both of these pieces are going to create your outer arrow pieces, okay? And then let me put those all back. And then the next step is doing our H and our C. So let's find H. We have an H piece and we have a letter C piece. And we're going to put H and C next to each other, which you will put those right on top, right sides together, and you're going to just come and do the stitch where those two would meet, okay? You're going to do a 1/4 inch stitch just like this, all right? And then press it, open that up, and this is going to attach to one of the letter B, okay? It's going to attach, you're going to just flip these two, let's just pretend, we're going to play pretend. These two are together, so we've got our letter H, we've got our letter B, or I'm sorry, our letter H and our letter C, and those are sewn together, they are pressed, and then we bring our letter B, bring that over, put it on top of both of those, and here we're going to do our stitch where those would meet. We'll press that open, and our block should look like this. This is the block now that is this here. These are the corner, the inside corner blocks. How does that sound? The inside corner blocks right here. Okay, now we are going to take that inside corner block and we are going to take the pieces that we made with these and our cornerstone. So here I'm going to show you on this one here. You will take a cornerstone with one of your blocks that you did here, and you're going to fold that over and stitch here and press, and then you're going to take the other one that's going the opposite direction. So the best way to say, this is why I call these the bow tie pieces. If you look here, you see how it kind of resembles a bow tie. So if you take and make sure that you're using the right piece, because remember we have two different size. We've got one going one direction that we did horizontally, and the other one we did vertically, and that put them in different segments. So what you want to do is make sure that these two are matching to make that bow tie. And so you're going to take this piece that's supposed to go here along with the block that we just did, and you're going to fold that over, and you're going to stitch, and you're going to press, and then you're going to bring this over, you're going to flip that on top to stitch here your 1/4 inch. Okay, I hope you're all following me here. And then you're going to press that, so when you get done, your block will look like this. It'll look like the little tulip or your corner arrow, whatever you want to call that. And then you have your cornerstone in that piece. You're going to do 4 of those pieces. So you got 1, you got 2, you got 3, and you got 4. All right. So now we are going to move right along, and I hope that if you're just kind of watching this through to get an idea, kind of make sure that you're stopping and being able to do these stitches as you go, and you don't have to do as much backtrack. So now we are going to take our letter A, which happens to be the 5-inch square, and we are going to we're working on creating these 4 pieces here that corner, or I should say square in the center square. Okay, so you're going to have your letter A, and we are going to use letter G. Okay, so these are my letter G's. We're going to have 2 of these. All right, and you're going to now, let me get this one here just so that it's a little easier to show you. Sometimes many people are visual learners, and it's just a lot easier. And if I say it and have you pretend that there's a line there, people will say, well, I don't see a line, and they just can't picture that. So you're going to put both of these on here, And my recommendation would be that you do one and then do the other. So that way when you put this on and this flips up, just like we did on the other one, you want to make sure that this piece is going to catch at the top here. So you will then put this piece on and stitch that to where that's going to look just like this. I hope you could see with my hands in the way. Let me just kind of give this a finger press so you have a little visual there. And yeah, it's not a very good finger press, but okay, so we have letter A and we have letter G, and we have those. Of course, you're going to trim off those bottom pieces. You're going to give it that 1/4 inch and you're going to trim. And then we come over here to our letter E, which my letter E happens to be these gray pieces. And we are going to go through, put a line on those as well. So we need our stitch line. And we want to keep everything precise, because that's what quilting is. It's all about being precise and being able to do our piecing and it all work out. It has to be right on target. Okay, now the same thing that we did here, we're going to do down here. You're wanting these to form that arrow when you lie them down. So we will set this on here. We're going to stitch. Remember this one here, see this is gonna all be stitched down, it's gonna be pressed, it's gonna be nice and neat, and then this piece is gonna come over and it's gonna lay right on top and help lay that piece down, right? So you're creating a whole new piece, and you're going to do the same. You'll trim at your 1/4 inch, you're gonna press, so this is gonna open up, okay? So that's going to be on that side, and then this is going to lay on this one right here, and it's going to then go over this piece and over this piece. So you'll stitch that down, and then you're going to trim, and this is going to open up so that your piece should now look like a diamond in the center, and you have the top part is matching and the bottom part here are matching, and to be able to create those arrow pieces. And then you're going to put them together as far as, well, let's see, let's act like we have these here all pressed and this is done. You're making four of these diamond areas. And now we need to use our letter F. And our letter F is going to attach to the letter F. So if all these pieces are together, and I'm going to put this right on top, just like this, and I'm going to stitch my 1/4 inch, I'm going to press it, open that up, and that is what is creating this whole area here, this whole area here, this whole area here. And I think I'm still in screen, but if not, just excuse me, I'm just kind of playing over here, you know, making circles in the air. But this piece here, so you're going to make these 4 pieces, all right? And you will make, of course, you have 4 of these, you're going to have 4 of those, and of course these pieces are going to connect to what would be considered your letter G pieces, okay? So now when you have that piece finished and you have 4 of those done, it's time to go ahead and put it all together. All right, so I'm going to just kind of scoot this out of the way for a moment and put this into screenshot that's a little bit better, hopefully. I have seemed to just keep going solo with these just because it's just kind of hard for everybody to get where they need to be, and you know, Tim's got his things to do, and I just keep piling stuff on myself. So hopefully you're able to understand being able to do it this way. If not, please, please, please call or stop in so that I can help you with this. But if you have the book is wonderful. You want to always check with the book because it does give you those corner measurements and everything to keep you all in line, which, well, I guess I forgot to keep you guys all in line as we were going along. But the units that we just did here, how about if I do that? I'll go through and I'll tell you what those measurements should measure so that you can go back before we put all of this together, okay? So when we did this whole section here, this unit should measure 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. So this unit, this unit, this unit, and this unit should each equal 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. So go ahead and do any trimming that you need to do with those, okay? And then when we get to these pieces here, this should measure 5 by 7 1/4, and that would be all 4 of these. So this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. That should measure 5 by 7 1/4, okay? And then, of course, when we get it all done, the whole block should be 18 1/2 by 18 1/2. So now, let's pretend that this is, let me see, let's do it like this. So, well, that's not going to work either. Okay, let's just pretend this is this is row 1. Then we've got our center row here that's going to have those 2 units plus your center piece. And then we've got our bottom unit here, okay? We're going to take our big corner unit, and that's going to flip over to this side. You're going to do a 1/4 inch seam, and you're going to press it. And then you're going to go over and you're going to lay this back down, and you're going to flip this one over to the center, and you're going to stitch that 1/4 inch seam, and you're going to press it. Okay? We move to the second row. We take this unit here, lay your centerpiece on top of this unit to be able to do your 1/4 inch stitch here. You're going to press it, and then you're going to bring this unit on top. You're going to stitch here, 1/4 inch, and you're going to press it. So now we've got this piece and we have this piece, okay? Go back down just like we did to the very top. We're going to take and we're going to connect our centerpiece or our middle piece to our corner, and we're going to stitch that here. That's going to flip on top. It's going to stitch here, 1/4 inch, and we're going to press it, bring this piece over, flip it on top, do our 1/4 inch our 1/4 inch seam, and then we're going to press that. So now we have row 1, we have row 2, and we have row 3. We're going to take and we're going to put our middle piece, we're going to flip that on top of row 1, and you're going to match up these seams. Now, the one that did this for me, they did all of the seams like pressing to the side. As you all know, I press all of mine open. I don't like to do mine like this, but beggars cannot be choosy at this time. So this is how she did hers, and you know, we're just going with it. And you would want to take and make sure that where you have these seams, that they are, you're using your pins, pinning into it to match those up so that you get a nice squared off piece, okay? So we've attached the center to the top piece, and then we come down here after we have pressed that, and then we flip the bottom on top of that middle row, and we do our 1/4 inch seam, and We press that and voila, look what we got. We have Baking with Family, block number 10. Yay! Oh my goodness, isn't that wonderful? And so let me go ahead and do a drawing for, I know instead of me going around and repositioning, I'm just going to go ahead real quick and get my names here. And we are going to do the drawing. And we're getting down to, I think everybody has pretty much won, and we're about ready to throw everybody back in the basket, I think, and see what happens. But let's see who we have here. We have Janet Fiesbeck. Janet, you won! Yay! Poor Janet, I don't think that she won anything off of Sampler 1, so it's about time. She got to win something. So Janet, you will win a goodie in a little treat container, and you're also going to win 1 yard of fabric. And guys, you know what? I'm going to check the battery here and see how we're doing, and if we're doing okay, I'm going to go ahead and set up for block number 10. Number 11. Sorry, this is block number 10. Set up for block number 11. So hang tight, and we're going to have two blocks. Two blocks this week, and we are knocking this out. So bear with me.